In this package, Governor Udom Emmanuel graces 6th edition of Akwa Ibom Youth Praise calls on religious organizations to instill discipline and moral values in youth. Speaker, Akwa Ibom House of Assembly seeks collaboration with National Institute for Legislative Studies, plus special reports on World Leprosy Day draws attention to plight of leprosy victims. Details shortly. Good morning and welcome to AKBC 45 News at dawn. I am Blessing Isongu. Governor Udom Emmanuel yesterday joined youth in the state at the 6th edition of their monthly prayers, where he described the events as a gathering to the glory of God. At Akwa Ibom Youth Praise, the event took place at the Eagles Assembly of Songoma Road, Uyo. Government House Bureau Chief Colonel Edem Efraite reports that the event had the Ministry of Divine Help as its theme.
Governor Udom Emmanuel said while striving to equip the youths with the best, it was good to inculcate in them the fear of God. Mr. Udom Emmanuel, who urged the youths to understand that seeking God will bring solution to all their problems, said no one has monopoly of God, and so what God had done for others would he also do for all those who embrace him. The governor, who said the state would be the best should he succeed in realizing his dream of a standard life for the people, called for cooperation from all to enable him, as one placed by God to lead the state, to put things in place for them. He commended the church for its good works and prayed it would harvest the youths unto God.
We can't call for people to rise without providing the enabling environment for people to rise. So as government, I can be rest assured that we do our possible best to make sure we create that enabling environment. I want the youth of Akwa Ibom steps out of the step out of this country. The confidence and the boldness that will be upon him will show that there's somebody who has also arrived. And God will bless us all in Jesus' name.
The church's choir rendered special tunes to lift up souls at the event. Colonel Edem Efraite reporting.
Governor Udom Emmanuel has emphasized the need for religious organizations in the country to instill discipline and moral values in youth so that they can become great and responsible citizens to their families, communities, and the church. Governor Emmanuel made the call yesterday in Uyo at the January edition of Akwa Ibom Youth Prayer Conference organized by the Office of the Special Assistant on Youth Matters. The story is there presented.
At the event, which took place at the Eagles Assembly, Osongoma Road, Uyo, the governor said producing a God-fearing generation was key to a better society. He said when young people are properly trained and empowered spiritually, physically, and psychologically, the rate of crime will be drastically reduced. Mr. Emmanuel said his administration remains committed to encouraging the youth to grow in various fields of endeavor by creating an enabling environment for them through human capital development and appointment into positions of authority. The governor, while describing young people as agents of change, urged them to always allow God to guide and direct their footsteps, in addition to imbibing the gospel of Christ, which is anchored on love, peace and forgiveness.
The fear of God is the beginning of it all. Once we fear God, and once we walk with Him, absolutely every other thing will come to us. I wish you also understand that if we seek God and seek help from Him, it is nothing with God to have. No matter the situation you are.
Welcoming the governor to the church, a special assistant on youth matters, Mr. Aniefiok Iwa Orofia, said youth in Akwa Ibom will never forget Governor Udom Emmanuel for his passion toward the welfare and development of young people in the state. He said the youth were happy that apart from giving them a voice in government, Governor Udom Emmanuel has also created time from his tight schedules to honor them with his presence at the monthly prayer summit. Mr. Iwa Orofia described Mr. Emmanuel as a youth-friendly governor, assuring that young people will continue to stand by him and pray for the success of his administration.
Let me particularly welcome His Excellency, having been the best governor, the very first governor to come to this church. So we thank God that the youth of Akwa Ibom State are alive today, that we are seeking the face of God, to seek for divine help, that God in heaven, who hears our prayer, whose help coming from Him, will hear the prayers of the youth of Akwa Ibom State today, that the youth of Akwa Ibom will continue to be productive to the glory of God.
In a sermon on the theme of the prayer conference, The Mystery of Divine Help, the officiating minister, Pastor Wema Ofiong, described God as the only source of help, whose blessings had no sorrows to man. He urged Christians to always seek God's presence in prayers whenever they are in need, adding that no problem was too big for God to solve.
I want to say that the greatest need of any man alive is the help of God. It's the help of God, so that 2016 does not resemble 2015.
Some of the youths who attended the service thanked the special assistant to the governor on youth matters, Mr. Aniefiok Iwa Orofia, for his vision of bringing them together to pray for peace and development of the state every month.
The youth are getting closer to God. You can hear from the scripture. We need the help, the hand of God from the youth of our life.
So the best way to cope this activity is to bring the youth closer to God. That is why we also at Female Students, we also came to worship, but we do it all the time, every month.
The prayer conference was the first to be organized in 2016.
Governor Udom Emmanuel has again assured churches in the state of his government's readiness to partner with them to move the state forward. Mr. Udom Emmanuel gave the assurance at the Word Tabernacle Church or Songoma layout while worshipping with the church yesterday. Government House Bureau Chief Colonel Edem Efreti again reports.
Governor Udom Emmanuel said government was committed to changing the moral, physical and psychological aspect of life of the Akwa Ibom person. Mr. Udom Emmanuel said only God can bring about a total turnaround in the state, adding that it is the reason the state is undertaking a prayer network for the youth. The governor, who thanked the church for its prayers for the state and its people, said he was convinced God would change the world's financial situation using the state and for the best.
Today, what we are seeing all over the world, a lot of people are saying it's end time. But I also believe that God has a purpose for what we are experiencing today. And so many issues around the world, if you tune to every channel, out of how many hours of people will be, more than 3 quarters will be war, killings, all kinds of classes, downturn in the economy. So many things happening. But the answer to every problem is in the church. And through the prayers, like what people are finally offered, I'm sure we government will join people to pray. We have a government that listens, we have a government that prays, we have a government that is in partnership with the church.
In his sermon, the presiding pastor of the church, Apostle Gabriel Nkenang, said God answers prayers of the faithful. Apostle Nkenang gave 5 conditions for which God answers prayers, to include being a child of God, being called by His name, humbling oneself, and turning away from evil ways. He prayed for the governor, the state, and the nation. Colonel Edem Efreti reporting.
The Speaker of the Akwa Ibom House of Assembly, Mr. Onofio Luke, has made a case for close collaboration between the State House of Assembly and the National Institute for Legislative Studies, Abuja. Mr. Luke was speaking in Abuja when he paid a courtesy visit along with some members of the state legislature to the management of the institute. He commended the National Institute for Legislative Studies for the induction course it organized for House of Assembly members across the country and stressed the need to properly equip legislators' libraries to guide them in lawmaking. Responding, the Director General of the Institute, Dr. Ladi Hamalai, expressed satisfaction with the progress made by the Akwa Ibom State Legislature. He thanked the Speaker for appreciating the work of the Institute and promised to collaborate with the House of Assembly to better the lot of Akwa Ibom people. Take a break. More news for you when we come back. Stay with us. Glad to have you back. The Akwa Ibom State government has concluded plans to commence the production of rice in commercial quantities. The Commissioner for Agriculture and Natural Resources, Dr. Matthew Ekaite, stated this when he hosted a Chinese rice investor from the Heilongjiang Group. Dr. Ekaite said that government decided to partner with the Heilongjiang Group because of its track record as well as the technological capability of the company. The stories they are presented.
While stressing that the partnership will further strengthen the relationship between China and Akwa Ibom State, the Commissioner said that the production will first commence with a pilot cultivation of 500 hectares to be scaled up to 10,000 hectares. Dr. Ekaite noted that when on course, the mega project would not just ensure food sufficiency and employment in the state, but will also boost revenue generation, while adding that technical support from China will be extended to other areas of agriculture to boost production. The Commissioner assured the investors that the Akwa Ibom State government will give them all the required support as well as enabling environment for the business to thrive.
Which implies that this team is not only after production, but as well as processing and marketing. We are equally excited that the team is also after development through its desires to establish a research center. That implies that you want to take the state to greater heights in rice production.
The team leader of Heilongjiang Group and chairman of the company, Mr. Wang Jingze, said acceptance of partnership with the Akwa Ibom State government was, however, subject to certain conditions which must be met by the government. The conditions, he said, included the construction of the 40-kilometer Odorikpe-Mbiaberikpe Ikodebiya road to enable easy transportation of the produce, the clearing of the 500 hectares of land for commencement of the pilot cultivation, as well as inspection of their facilities in China by a professional delegation from the government to ascertain the technical and operational capability to successfully carry out a project of such magnitude. Mr. Zay expressed the hope that with the present commitment of the Akwa Ibom State government, all preliminary processes would soon be completed for the project to take off. Representatives of the Heilongjiang Group, which comprise the Chinese Consular General in Nigeria, the Commissioner of Trade in the Embassy, as well as other managers of the company alongside the Commissioner for Agriculture, undertook an assessment of the moribund government rice farm at Mbiaberikpe in a local government area where soil samples were taken for testing. A memorandum of understanding is to be signed in the company's corporate headquarters in China, while the first shipment of equipment for the project is expected to arrive the state in February.
Yesterday was the last Sunday of January, celebrated globally as World Leprosy Day to increase public awareness of leprosy, also known as Hansen's disease. Leprosy, one of the oldest recorded diseases in the world, is an infectious chronic disease that targets the nervous system, especially the nerves in the cooler part of the body, the hands, feet, and face. In Akwa Ibom, the Akwa Ibom Church, Nigeria, organized a special World Leprosy Day service at the Leprosy Hospital Chapel, Ekbenobom, with stakeholders including Ministry of Health officials in attendance. Dwareko was there.
Although leprosy is curable, millions of people around the world are living with a disability caused by the disease. Some are blind, while others have lost the sensations in their hands and feet. Such disabilities have led to stigmatization, neglect, and rejection, causing persons affected by leprosy to live secluded lives. As with other years, the World Leprosy Day drew attention to persons affected by leprosy who have, over the years, chosen to call the Leprosy Hospital Ekbenebom home. Apart from the service with highly placed persons in attendance, different groups, individuals and churches, including various superintendencies of the Akwa Ibom Church, Nigeria, donated various items for the upkeep of residents of the Leprosy Hospital, Ekbenebom. The service featured songs, a playlet by patients of the hospital, and other presentations.
You are welcome in our midst today. Welcome, 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 welcome today. For His grace shall praise the Lord, my soul. I sing honor to you, oh Lord. I look to follow you.
In a sermon on the theme, The Victorious Christian Life, the acting chairman, Akwa Ibom Church, Nigeria, the Reverend V.I. Philip, said only Jesus Christ can provide abundant victory over sickness, demonic attacks, and poverty. For those who wish to live a life free of sickness and disease, the Reverend Philip advised Christians against telling lies while encouraging them to live holy lives.
The victory He wants us to have is abundant victory. The life He wants us to have is abundant life.
Funds were raised for the empowerment of persons affected by leprosy, while appeals were made to governments and relevant stakeholders to empower persons affected to ensure their existence in a society that has chosen to stigmatize rather than show love.
It's used an opportunity for everybody, both those that have been cured and those that are still undergoing the process of being treated. So they can see that there is hope at the end.
I want to say that I feel humble. This is a rare occasion, a situation whereby you come and identify with the least privileged.
The participation of the patients and discharged patients, those who will no longer suffer leprosy, but maimed by the disease, they come.
It's a good thing, serving God. Because God Himself honor you, honor your children, everything.
Give God the glory, irrespective of how it is.
We'll be able to empower them so that they'll be able, because the aim is this is care after cure, they go back to the society and be useful citizens.
Udwakeko reporting.
The Commissioner for Agriculture and Natural Resources, Dr. Matthew Kaite, has called on the people of Rwanda to continue in their support for the Udomi Manuel administration in order to reap more dividends of democracy. Dr. Kaite stated this at his country home Isama when he hosted his people. The story is here presented.
commissioner said the governor had already concluded arrangement for the construction of several roads in the area to ameliorate the transportation plight of the people and to develop the area. The roads, he said, included the Abak, Ikoro Kuro, Ikoro Britam, Ikele Road, the Ikore Bak, Ibesed Road, and the Abak, Ibesed Koi, Ikoro Pan Ibesed Road, among others. The member representing Orogonam in the Akwa Ibom State House of Assembly, Sir Udo Kiranakman, noted that the choice of the commissioner from Orogonam was a demonstration of the governor's caring disposition towards Orogonam people. He advised the people not to listen to detractors, but to continue to support the people-oriented and industrialization-driven governor. Describing Dr. Kaite as a consummate technocrat with vast experience in agriculture, the youth coordinator expressed the hope that the commissioner will impact the agricultural sector in the state while pledging the support and loyalty of youths in the area to Udomi Emmanuel administration. The well-attended events which had in attendance traditional rulers, political groups, as well as a large turnout of men, women and children of the community, also featured traditional dances, singing competition, as well as presentation of gifts.
A 7-member executive has been sworn in to run the affairs of the state chapter of the Nigeria Association of Women Journalists, NAWOJ, for the next 3 years. The new executive has a staff of the AKBC, Mrs. Uduare Kong, as chairman, and Sika Okon of the NTAUU as vice chairman of the association. They were sworn into office by Barrister Idorine Usanga at a ceremony at the Press Center of the Nigeria Union of Journalists, UU. Patricia will not complete the story.
Other members of the association sworn into office include Esther Ifyong, Secretary, Patience John, Assistant Secretary, Aniema Obom, Financial Secretary, Imabong Linus, Auditor, and Udeme Boniface, Treasurer. The outgone chairman of the association, Mrs. Margaret Edem, expressed gratitude to God for making the transition a smooth one after she had served for 2 terms. She says that the association's aim of fostering unity among female journalists, educates them to sharpen their professional skills, and create awareness on women and children on related issues in the society have been achieved. She attributed this achievement to the support of members and enjoined them to extend such support to the new executive and respect them in order to move the association to greater heights.
I cannot fail to especially salute all my very great Norwegians who are here to participate in this important event. I am indeed very grateful to God that I am today marking the end of my 2 terms as the chairman of Akwa Ibom Norwich. I feel so happy, so happy.
The state chairman of the Nigeria Union of Journalists, Elder Patrick Albert, wished the new executive success as they seek to improve on the standard set by their predecessors. Elder Albert expressed the hope that the new executive will work to protect the interests of members and described women as agents of change. He commended the outgone chairman and executive for their amiable character and advised the new executive to work with its members in order to ginger growth in the association.
It is not an overstatement to say that any society that the women are organized and any home that a woman is there happy and organized, surely such a society and surely such a home.
The Director, News and Current Affairs, AKBC, Comfort Umana, who moved a motion to dissolve the executive led by Mrs. Margaret Edem, expressed delight over the increase in the population of the women journalists in the state. Ms. Umana wished the new executive success in the administration and advised members to unite in love and respect each other, as this will enable them to further achieve the aim of the association with pride.
Let's continue like sisters. Let's continue like brothers. After all, if it is not today, there is going to be another time. Before we know it, all of you will have positions, one way or the other. There are children sitting down here. Learn from this one and start to make your own.
In her acceptance speech, the new chairman, Mrs. Udwarekong, appreciated the association for finding her fit to serve as the chairman. Mrs. Ekong expressed happiness to all who stood by her during her 2 terms in office as the secretary of NAWUJ and now the chairman. She explained that the love and passion she received from members over the years have motivated her to aspire to the pinnacle of the association and promised to work with authorities concerned to improve on the practice of journalism as a profession, as well as safeguard the interests of members.
To Akwa Ibom Nawojans, your support has made it worthwhile, and together we will improve our profession and safeguard the interests of members. Thank you for believing that the little girl could lead great women, and I pray that God will give me the wisdom and the enablement together with members of the executive. I'm happy we are all friends and we are sisters, and I believe that sisterhood and the unity that we all have will help us move to that next level that is expected of us.
A former national officer of NAWUJ, Mrs. Nene Jewel, presented a paper on the topic NAWUJ and responsible journalism. She spoke on the dress code as a responsible attitude of the female journalist, noting that a credible media practice requires adherence to objectivity, accuracy, truthfulness, integrity, fairness, respect for people's opinion, and confidentiality. She briefly discussed the history of NAWUJ, sustainable development, personal ethics, and responsible journalism. Goodwill messages were received from the General Manager, NTA Uyo, Elder Chidi Uluka, represented by the Manager, Programs, Mrs. Rita Wakwe, National Assistant Secretary of NAWUJ, Ellen Udofa, former Vice Chairman, Zone F, NAWUJ, Mrs. Mary Asukwo, and Mrs. Ima Etuk. Patricia Udo, reporting.
Congratulations again to our own Udwarekong. You can also watch AKBC TV News online by logging on to akbconline.org, or you can follow us on Twitter at AKBC45U, on Facebook at AKBC Channel 45. That's our package for this morning. But before we go, another look at the top stories. Governor Udom Emmanuel has called on religious organizations to help instill discipline and moral values in youth. The governor made a call yesterday at the 6th edition of Akwa Ibom Youth Praise held at the Eagles Assembly for Summer Layouts Youth. We also brought you a report that the World Leprosy Day was marked yesterday to increase public awareness on leprosy and the plight of victims. That was the news. Thank you for watching, and you'll have a great day ahead. Happy New Month.